Hello and welcome to Two-A-Day on your Packer Link Up. Today is Friday, August 15th, and you're watching the 10 o'clock edition. Short but sweet this evening, not a lot of more news out there, so here are some things I want to see in this next game. Having watched us play the Cincinnati Bengals, lost that game, score doesn't matter, what do we need to see as our team develops toward the end of the preseason and the beginning of the season? Here are a few things I want to see. You may have some other ones, but this is my list. First of all, I would like to see the offensive line start to gel and play like a unit. I know there are a lot of people, Scotty Wells being out, and a lot of changes being made. But I would like to have the kind of confidence that, A, our running backs that are out there, and Ryan Grant probably still won't be on the field, our running backs aren't going to get killed having to cut back into traffic because they don't have a hole. So hopefully the offensive line, with all the talk of Josh Sitton and how great he's doing, somehow when we got out on the field against the Bengals, we looked silly. And I hope this time around we will at least show that we're moving in the direction of having a solid offensive line. Coach McCarthy has dodged the questions about the O-line and continued to give praise to Josh and some of the other guys. Mark Spitz at how consistent he is and how consummate professional he is. Consummate professionals are the guys that get the job done on the field in the games. And I would like to see us make a step in that direction against the 49ers. I'm not sure where they ranked against the run last year, but we know we're coming up against the Minnesota Vikings. We've got the Chicago Bears. We're going to have to be able to create some holes with the zone blocking, do the power running game, whatever it takes, but we need our offensive line to be productive. So that's one thing I want to see. Also, Aaron Rodgers has to be more accurate. If he's going to be successful, he has to be more accurate than he was against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm not just talking about completions and incompletions here. I'm talking about guys coming across the middle, James Jones having to jump up as high as he can and stretch his ribs all the way out and take a shot to the cheek as he's coming down out of the air. If those balls, we can get them down, still maybe they need to be up and away, but get them right on the money, catching receivers in stride. When the ball needs to be on the outside shoulder, getting it all the way to the outside shoulder without putting it out of bounds. And on top of that, then, our receivers, which is another thing, need to make all the catches. You have the receivers make all the catches. Some of Rodgers' most accurate passes were dropped in the Cincinnati Bengals game. So, of course, it takes some time to sort of get back up to speed, even though they've been through training camp. You'd like to see these things, not necessarily all of them cleaned up, but keep an eye out. Let's see if we're moving in a direction of getting more on the same page, getting more accurate passes in the running game, having a more consistent holes open up for our backs. Also, special teams, we want to see continued improvement there. We saw some good guys back. We know Blackman's going to be back there. We know we're going to see some Jordy Nelson. He'll have a chance to improve. He eluded a tackle or two, kept himself moving forward, didn't gain a lot of yards, but sometimes that's not what it's about. So sometimes it's about not losing yards. Watched the Raiders against the Raiders playing the Tennessee Titans and had a fumble that ended up in the end zone because I think it was, I don't know who it was, turned around, ran backwards, ended up fumbling the ball, which ended up, because he ran backwards, in the opposing team's end zone for a touchdown. Those are the things we want to be taking away from the 49ers, and we certainly don't want to see out of our runners. So watch for the special teams to continue to improve. They're another unit that really has to gel. They have to get their blocking schemes down. It's not all about the runner. It's really all about the guys putting blocks on the right people to give the runner a chance to get up ahead of steam and break through that initial hole. Because we know if we can do that, we've got guys on this team that can take it to the house. D-line, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark for the defense. The defense as a whole, we are not going to see our first team defense until the first season game against the Vikings. I think that's just all there is to it. We are not going to know what our starting defense is going to do. We're not going to see all of these guys on the field together, which means there's going to be a question mark. We're going to get some play from individuals, but we're not going to necessarily see the team as a whole pull together before the season starts. That doesn't necessarily bother me that much because I know when we put all the starters in, they're going to be great. But still, it makes me a little nervous. I'd like to see all these guys work together, in that third preseason game in particular. Of course, the fourth one's probably going to be rest-up time anyway, but I just do not see us getting a chance to watch our defense at full strength anytime during the preseason. I don't like that, but there's nothing we can do about it, and I think McCarthy, as I've said before, is doing the right thing. He's got to play it safe. We know these guys. Most of these guys we know. Brandon Chiller, when you're doing the 2-4-5, I'd like to see all of these guys, A.J. Hawk and Brady Papinga and Barnett and Chiller, all out on the field to get a chance to work their stunts out and all of the blitz packages that they're going to be putting in during that set. But we may not see that. But again, I think because our strength of our team is right now on our defense, that's probably less of a concern, except for the fact that we don't know if everybody's going to be back full strength. If we know that we're trading off time in the preseason on the playing field for a healthy defense at the start of the season, it's a no-brainer. So we will just go forward, keep an eye on that, and watch our team because there are going to be some guys on the defense that, Brandon Chiller is going to get a ton of playing time as a weak side linebacker. That's not where he played in St. Louis. He's perfectly capable of playing there. And, hey, the guy's got a chance to really show his stuff. So let's hope they do that, and I think they will. Other news, as I mentioned, I watched Tennessee versus Oakland. Not that normally that would have anything to do with Packer Link-Up, but just bear with me. Vince Young did not look good. He did throw one nice long touchdown pass. Other than that, he has not looked like he is on the same page with his receivers at all, and has not played well. Jamarcus Russell, on the other hand, for the Oakland Raiders, is looking very good. Their team is going to be a team to watch out for as possibly one of the black horses in this league, from what I saw. With Darren McFadden now, they know they have a running game. They had a running game last. They had a 1,000-yard rusher last year, and Jamarcus Russell looking really good. Anyway, here's my point, and this is the reason that it made it into two-a-day today. Jamarcus Russell on the first, I believe it was the first series that Oakland had on offense, played well. They ran the ball, mixed it up a little bit, got to third down, and it was third and, medium range, passing down. And Russell drops back, throws a beautiful pass over the middle that would have been a first down, except for the fact that the pass was dropped by a man named Javon Walker. Just thought everybody'd want to know he's carrying on the legacy of doing a lot of talking and not a lot of action ever since the way he left the Packers, and now ending up with the Raiders, which to my mind is the graveyard for the Warren Sapps and Randy Mosses. Although it didn't work out with Randy, he should have stayed with the Raiders. But Javon Walker can just finish up right there. He didn't even spend a lot of time on the team. He looked lethargic. He didn't look like he was interested in playing football any longer. Javon, you should have retired while you had a chance. So, thought that update would be of interest to some of you out there as a little peripheral note. Nothing else to mention, not a whole lot of news. Go on the Packer Link-Up, check it out. If news comes down, you'll have a chance to get it from there. But for now and until game day, Saturday, this is going to be an important game, an interesting game, and an exciting game. And so, as always, go Pack.